The way they took led them through a little forest, and the trees hid the magnificent capital city. Almost all of them carried apples. Cheyenne remembered the promise she made to her horse. This was the perfect opportunity to collect the 2 treats. She slowed down Falconheart and took her unfoldable bow from the saddlebag. She pushed a little button on it, and it unfolded to full size, which was above 5 times as much as the folded version, and was now a full operational bow. It was almost as big as the girl itself. As soon as she brought her weapon in the right position and laid her finger onto the bowstring, a black arrow appeared. It was surrounded by something that looked like black fire but was not hot. She aimed at 2 apples that were being in a row behind each other and tried to sit as calm as possible on the cantering horse. When the right moment came, she let go of the bowstring and the arrow shot forward super fast. It cut the first apple and right after that the second. In the meantime, Cheyenne had already folded back the bow together and had put it back into the saddlebag. Now she had both her hands free to catch the apples falling from the trees. Perfect timing, could not have been better. She was happy about it and put the treats for her horse into the saddlebag. As soon as she was done with that, a loud thunder sounded and left the world shaking. Falconheart got scared and stopped running immediately. The abrupt loss of speed caused a balance issue for Cheyenne, and she fell on the neck of the nervous horse. Frightened and loud, it whinnied and lifted up its front legs into the air. Back on earth with all 4 hoofs, it began to dance around, snorted noisily while the girl sat back into the saddle. She whispered in a calm voice to the horse whilst patting his neck. "Hey, Falconheart, it's all right. It was just thunder. Calm down. Shh, shh." Then she looked for Adukas. She found him sitting a few meters away at the edge of the forest. He was staring into the distance, but due to the narrow and dense treetops, she couldn't see where his sight was pointed. Again, the growling of the upcoming storm shook the land, but this time the horse remained quiet and calm. The girl on his back gave off a calm and trustworthy feeling and seemed to be not worried about the thunder. Due to this positive aura, Cheyenne could motivate him to go on. The hoofbeats on the ground didn't seem to be of much interest to the fairy wolf, which just twitched its ears and kept on staring in the distance. As soon as he noticed that his owner and her horse came closer, he got up and turned around. He spectated the stallion's long legs and how expansive every step was, especially in the walk, the slowest gait. Cheyenne now could make out the capital city between the tree crowns again. Above her home city were dark blue clouds, which told her that it would be raining soon. Lightnings were to see, and so they had found the source of thunder. Oh, not this too. A thunderstorm is the last thing we need now. She remembered that the last storm wasn't that long ago, and it left its marks on the old house which she lived in. There had been a terrible thunderstorm, and the wind had loosened some rocks above the houses of the Undercity. Some of those stones hit the rooftops, also Cheyenne's home, and her grandfather didn't have the time yet to fix the issue. There was way too much damage on the field to take care of first. The field was the most important possession of the family, since it was the only opportunity to make some money. But almost everything that Cheyenne's grandfather had raised there had been destroyed in the storm. Only very little of grain and vegetables remained in good enough state to sell, but on the market they would only get low prices for their products, since there were a lot of other merchants with better-looking foods. The amount of money he would get would by far be not enough to buy new seeds to grow in the field, not even enough to buy some food for the time in between the selling periods, not to think of the taxes they needed to pay. Poor grandfather, as if he hasn't got enough to worry about. But he never takes the help of other people and always feels responsible for everything. I really hope he could sell at least some of the wares and got enough money to buy new seeds. Also, the last storm had turned the wind so that the rain would fall directly into the undercity instead of the upper city, which sometimes works as an umbrella for the people that live down there. Even though it happens a lot, everybody had their hopes up that it wouldn't happen at that time. But the hope had been in vain, and the water came into the houses through the holes in the roofs and flooded the area. The cleanup took 2 days after the event happened, and there are still a lot of things missing. Cheyenne's grandmother lost a cooking pot, which probably was washed away into the river, and by now it should be sunken deep in the ocean. I hope it doesn't rain into the Undercity today, not until all our roofs are fixed. That was another reason for Cheyenne to come home as soon as possible. As if Arukas could read her thoughts, he sprinted forward as she let Falconheart gain speed again. Soon the horse had reached its full speed, and the three of them continued to hurry towards the city. The ground started to be very even and led to a paved street, which again led to a guarded security gate. Everyone who wanted to get into town had to pass through here and show their identification papers. And not even then it was guaranteed that the person could get in. The gate was guarded by 2 soldiers of the knights who didn't have the qualification to be a fully accepted knight to serve the king. This was pure luck for Cheyenne though, and a huge advantage. Since she lived in a despised undercity of the most important city in Terranox Libertia, she had no identification papers and had to trick the soldiers all the time to get through the gate. This was not always a child's play, but there were by far more difficult things to handle in life. But the gate was the only opportunity to get into town, except for someone could fly or build a tunnel like a mole, since the capital city was surrounded by a 5-meter high voltage fence, which meant immediate death at the moment you touch it. Many people lost their lives to this one already. Again, Cheyenne noticed how cruel the king was indeed. Going to such means just to make the life of those who don't belong to the rich and popular hard for them. Poor people don't get ID papers, and the king made it no secret that he hated these worthless, pathetic rats of the Undercity. Shouldn't it be the purpose of a king to love and appreciate his people and help them when they're in need? Guide them into a safe and good future? This king is unworthy of his role, an absolute idiot. I really hope he's gonna be thrown off his throne very soon, and then let's hope that the next king will be a better one. Cheyenne now came closer and closer to the gate, but none of the soldiers had noticed her yet. She slowed her horse down again and called back her fairy wolf to her side. He heard her, even though she hadn't made a loud noise. He was now trotting next to the horse. The girl reached for her bow in the saddlebag, and as soon as she put her fingers onto the bowstring, the black arrow appeared again. She aimed at a spot in the grass next to the guards and let the arrow fly away. The noise which it made when it crashed into the earth and the black fog similar to fire attracted the attention of the two knights, and both went to see what was going on with no second thought. "What the hell is that?" I don't know. Let's go check it out." "Hey, you're right. What a brilliant idea you got there. I wish I would be as smart as you too. But shouldn't one of us stay back here at the gate? Could be a trap, you know." I don't know. Let's go together. You got a lot to learn if you think that's a trap." Beginner. "Oh yes, of course. How could I doubt your experience? Forgive me." Cheyenne and her pets used the opportunity to rush through the gate. One of the soldiers noticed them, but these guys didn't seem to be so bright, based on what she just witnessed, so she wasn't worried that they would come after her. "Hey look, someone just passed through the gate. So much for experience, huh?" I don't know what's your problem, boy. That must have been your imagination. I ain't seen nothing. You getting too hot under that armor of ya or what? Beginner. Learn to do your work before you're assuming things, will ya, idiot?" I'm very sorry, master. You're so right. How could I ever doubt you? It must have been my imagination." Cheyenne couldn't hold back a laughter. Never had she seen such unfit guards before. And their talking was really funny too. They had made it through the gate, and now they would only need to pass the bridge to arrive in the Undercity. Above their heads the night sky was barely visible, also no chroma stars could be seen no more. But since it wasn't pitch black yet, there were supposedly some stars left at the horizon. The lightnings gave evidence that her theory was true, because they lit up the sky with their flashy colors, which meant they were still affected by chroma shine. If there were no chroma stars left in the sky, the clouds and lightnings would be pitch black and one could barely see them at night. You would only hear the thunder growling, but Cheyenne was sure that she could see lightnings in the dark as well, since they felt darker than the night. She could swear on that. Loud thunder shook the earth again, and Falconheart snatched his head into the air, but that's all he would do. His hooves were beating on the wooden bridge, and the river flew wildly and was calming at the same time. At the other side of the bridge, Cheyenne looked up to the sky, but the stone plate took away her sight at the clouds. A strong wind came up, and the grass around her sang a hope-robbing song. The wind will bring the rain to us again, I'm pretty sure of that. Damn it.